To me, on any level, they were world class.
Both of them have been just unbelievable for the West Indies.
Time after time by Chanderpaul.
Grace, elegance, ease of play from one end when it's Brian, and then you see this hard, grafting, mentally tough, but never say die attitude from the other end in Shiv.
I think if you put them both together, they quite complemented each other.
Batting with Brian is amazing because it makes things so much easier for you as a batter.
I think first of all he complemented my style of batting. As someone who, when I got set, I wanted to actually dominate. I needed someone on the other end to sort of facilitate.
That was brilliant. 50 partnership.
The most elegant, sort of aesthetic batsman you could probably wish to see in Brian Lara, and certainly the greatest player that I had the privilege of playing against.
My favourite all-time cricketer was and still is Sir Vivian Richards, and then that spot is now equally shared by Brian Lara. You know, when I first saw him bat, it was just magical to see that.
I would be on strike and they'll bowl me outside off stump and I would leave the ball. But then when Brian get down to strike, they bowl Brian out there, Brian will cash in on those balls.
Brian was driven by records. He wanted to leave his mark on the game as a great. What Shiv wanted was a little bit different. He just wanted to be out there for as long as the captain would allow him or the conditions until he declared or he got out.
Made it, and he's made 100. Good on him, that's a fine fighting knock, just when his team wanted it.
He had a sort of something burning inside. You can see that nearly every single time he wanted to do well.
I mean, Chanderpaul could score at a fair lick once he got going in his own way. He'd be one of those players where you think, well, he hasn't raised his bat in anger here, and all of a sudden he's on 65, and you think, well, where have those runs come from?
Once Shiv got in, again, opposition attacks are going to be under pressure because they know that they have a guy at the other end who will just bat until next year.
Both of them have stood up, and they've stood up not just once, but over and over again, year after year.
And that is it. One of the best centuries you'll see.
No time at all I felt like, you know, I was a better player or I was overshadowing. I think he knew on occasions that if we have a partnership, if I control the partnership in terms of scoring the majority of the runs, he was still playing his part and he was still going to get to that milestone that he wanted to get to.
I've seen great players from the past fail to become great partnerships because there was competition, whereas there was never any competition between Brian and Shiv.
A lot of my career was spent in the dressing room with Chanderpaul, so for sure he's definitely one of my favourite cricketers, and for me it was a great partnership.
They were the mainstay of West Indies batting for 10 or 15 years.